Your Excellency, President Salih Sevi, Your Excellency Fetya Youssef, Chair of the Natural Resources, Irrigation and Energy Standing Committee in Parliament, Excellency Dr. Sileshi Bekele, Minister for Water, Irrigation and Energy, and Excellency Dr. Amir Aman, Minister of Health. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I would like to start off actually by congratulating the Ministry for Water, Irrigation and Energy for organizing this historic event today. I have to say I didn't know what to expect when I walked in here today, but I was quite astonished when I saw the number of exhibitors outside and also the number of people who have decided to join us today. So it's already proving a success, and we're still in the opening ceremony. And I'm very pleased to say a few words on behalf of the development partners to Ethiopia, many of whom are here today. But actually, when I look across the room, it's fantastic to see representatives from such a diverse range of backgrounds, from government, the private sector, academia, and civil society, and not just from Ethiopia, but from all around the world. And the reason why we're here today is because the challenge of water and energy security is critical, and because we must all work together to deliver sustainable and equitable access to water and energy for everyone, but especially for the poorest and the most vulnerable. Water and energy are both valuable resources and indispensable for human society and development. By nature, water and energy are interlinked. Many sources of energy require water to be produced at all. For example, the cultivation of crops for biofuels, powering of turbines, thermal cooling processes, and even the extraction of raw materials. But energy itself is required to make water resources available for human use, including irrigation and for consumption, for example, through pumping, transport, treatment, and desalination. So with increased population and urbanization, our demand for fresh water and energy is going to increase significantly. By 2050, the world's population will rise to 9 billion people. And by then, the demand for water will have risen by 55%, and the demand for food by 60%. And on top of this, a world that by then will be have an economy that is 4 times larger than the one today, could use up to 80% more energy. So in such a world, clearly isolated planning is not an option, because uncoordinated policies on water and energy could exacerbate the tensions between key players and key sectors in the economy, leading ultimately to suboptimal results. So instead, integrated planning and development of energy, water, irrigation, and other policies is of paramount importance. In fact, availability of water is already proving to be a binding constraint for energy security in many places. And energy needs to be harnessed and conserved and used strategically to avoid unnecessary emissions of greenhouse gases that accelerate negative climate change impacts. And those impacts actually are primarily water related, as we can see from the growing frequency of droughts and flooding. So there's no place when you look around the world where this is more evident than here in Ethiopia, a country that has huge water, energy, and irrigation potential, but is already seeing the impact of climate change in all those areas. And despite the fact that Ethiopia has substantial water resources potential, a considerable segment of the population still has no access to safe drinking water, and only about 10% of Ethiopia's enormous hydropower potential is currently utilized, while a lot of agriculture is still rain-fed. And also, the variability in terms of climate and hydrological conditions is increasing and is already becoming an ever more pressing challenge for Ethiopia to consider in terms of its water and energy security. So the sustainable water resources management is critical to ensure that water is available, both for food generation and for energy. Critical for providing clean potable water, and critical for improving the health and the livelihoods of the population. On the other hand, failure to manage such a critical resource effectively and to address the climatic challenges would undermine Ethiopia's long-term development potential and increase the vulnerability of the poorest. So that is why we're gathered here today at the first Ethiopian Water and Energy Week, a platform that brings together policymakers, academic institutions, private investors, development partners, and civil society organizations to share knowledge, best practice, experiences, and ideas to inform coherent and strategic energy and water sector policies. So I wish all of us success for the week ahead, and I reiterate the commitment of development partners to support the critical agendas that we're working on with the ministry, but also with many other parts of government already. Thank you very much.